Yo, what's happening? How we doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to show 405. We're going to talk about chaos reigning in on our lives, how we can manage chaos a little bit better and how we can overcome it. Also to let you know that we have opened up a free opportunity for anyone that's not currently working with me, for me to mentor you over a 7-day period. All of the details are on the link up above, or there will be after this show. And if you fancy coming along and you fancy me mentoring you for 7 days, come and join our Elite 7. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Bourman. If you are coming through, there are 2 ways you can let me know, either by hitting the love button or commenting down below to let me know what you got up to at the weekend, what was the best part of your weekend. Provides me with some decent reading whilst I'm having breakfast. Cool. Hope you're good. Hope you're ready for the week. Mondays has always got this like stigma, hasn't it? It's always got like this stigma of like Chaos Monday. And we always end up waking up and we end up thinking to ourselves, oh man, it's Monday again, we've got to go, we've got to try and find the motivation or the drive or the energy to try and get to where we want to be. And I always think there are 2 different types of people that wake up on a Monday. There is man A, let's call him Joe Bloggs, who wakes up last minute because he's been pressing snooze. And because he's been pressing snooze, he's been kind of like restless and frustrated that he didn't get up. But he does get up last minute. And because he gets up last minute, everything starts to get on top of him immediately. He's got all of these things that he needs to be doing, but he kind of feels like he's falling behind. And then he goes off to work. He hasn't eaten breakfast properly. He hasn't really connected with everyone properly. He kind of feels like he's behind the curve, and it feels like it's a little bit like chaos is raining in on him. Probably gets a little bit stressed on the road, going to work, gets into work, flustered, opens his emails, and there are numerous emails. There's no plan for the week. There's no direction for the week. And suddenly, like, life becomes very chaotic, right? Then we have man B. Let's call him Billy Bob. So Billy Bob wakes up 1 hour earlier. And in that hour, he does a little bit of something for himself. He does a little bit of activity. It might be some stretching. It might be yoga. It might be a walking the dog. It might be whatever. He does a little bit of mindset. So he does a little bit of reflection. He does a little bit of perspective work. He does a little bit of gratitude work. And then he does some clarity work. Okay, so that's checking in on where his time and his energy is going for the week or for the day. So he's kind of like building up this focus. So when he has focus, he has clarity. And then he does a little bit more gratitude work in terms of like, man, I'm like grateful to be here. He does a little bit of anchoring. What I call is the victim mentality blocker. So the more grateful we are, the less victim we can be, because we realise the opportunities that we have. He then walks out the front door, probably 10 minutes earlier than he normally does, having spent time with his family in the morning, going to work, probably feels less stress on the road in terms of road rage, gets in, is really clear on where his day is going, where his time is going, and where his focus is going. There are 2 different models there, right? There are 2 different models. Again, as always, you have the choice. Your decisions are the ones that dictate the routine or the funnel of actions that happen throughout the day. Okay, so we have man A, Joe Bloggs, and then we have Billy Bob. Now, a couple of key things that separate these 2 different guys. Number 1 is that one of them has a plan. One of them has structure. One of them has a routine. One of them has a system. And when we have a focus, when we have a structure, a routine and a system, what we do is have control. So control is the direct opposite for me of chaos. Okay, so what we are doing by simply getting up a little bit earlier, getting ahead of the game, getting on top of our time, our energy, our focus, we are creating a pattern of action that allows our brain not to go into hyperdrive and thinking, overthinking, becoming anxious, becoming unclear, becoming frustrated. So it's almost like just putting on this armour on your head. And when you put the armour on your head and when you put it on here, you're ready for battle. Whereas the other version, which was Joe Bloggs, he doesn't have any focus whatsoever because nothing's been written down. There's been no plan. There is no structure other than getting up last minute and rushing and being chaotic and being behind the curve. There is no routine. There is no set routine where you're going to go through step-by-step guide of how you're going to sort out your morning and your day. And then there is no system other than firefighting or rushing around, right? So that then creates anxiety, frustration, stress, overthinking, overwhelm, Groundhog Day mentality. So when we think about chaos or the cycle of chaos that many men do go through, when we look at the solution, we look at those 4 key points. So when you ask yourself, why do I feel so chaotic? Ask yourself, do you have focus? Like sniper-like, relentless focus on where your time and your energy is going. Because without the focus, the time and the energy doesn't get managed. It just whittles away, slowly but surely, and your energy levels drain, and the time that you have disappears. Okay. Then ask yourself, do you have a form of structure, like a set, like box? So I always think of structure as like the buildings. So you can either have this squiggle, right? If you imagine a 2-year-old and a pen and they just scribble all over the page, all right, that visually for me is chaos. And then someone comes along and just draws a square. That's that structure. So everything fits perfectly and everything kind of fits in its place. So a structure for us is organisation, is management. Routine. So a routine is almost a checklist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the things that I'm going to nail. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. If we don't have that, then we're just all over the place. And 1 minute we're getting changed. The next minute we're brushing our teeth while we're still not even finished getting changed. Then we're putting toast in the toaster, turning the kettle on whilst we're not even changed yet. Still trying to get changed. Still brushing our teeth at the same time. Trying to look for our car keys. Like all of this, right? And then the system is like the process that takes you throughout the whole day. So you'll stay on top of your game. So without these elements here, it's no wonder so many people are chaotic. And it doesn't really take a lot to get started. And this is something that we're going to be working on with those 100 men who I'm going to be mentoring on the 7-day program, the Elite 7. It's simply having a morning routine. It's simply writing down some things that you want to achieve in each of the days. So like, what are the top 3 things that you have to achieve for the day? And if you can figure out what those top 3 things are, if you can have this flow that takes you through the days, and if you think about through a pond sometimes, you can have these little stepping stones. And for you to go through the day, to go through the week, to go through your life, we're simply going stepping stone to stepping stone to stepping stone. And what's next? What's next in the funnel? What's next in the procedure of once you have that, that brings the control that you're looking for. That then calms your emotions, keeps you calmer, keeps you focused, keeps you directed. Without that, we fall in. All right, amigos. So I hope you have an amazing day. Just think a little bit about like focus, structure, routine, systems. What have you got yours going on? All right. Let me know your number 1 thing that you took away from this inside of the comments down here. And if you don't already work with me and you would like me to mentor you, not this week, next week, we've got 100 places. In fact, I think we're down to like 70 already. Register. I'm going to go and put it up now so you can do that.